Remember, my excellent drivers, you are responsible for the safe use of your vehicle and abiding by the state or territory rules that you are driving in, and that, of course, includes mobile phone usage.
Welcome to the Learn to Drive podcast. I'm your host, Liz Lafferty, and I'm here to guide you through the twists and turns of learning to drive with a few laughs along the way. So whether you're a newbie trying to figure out why the car keeps beeping at you, or a seasoned road warrior who still can't parallel park without causing a minor traffic jam, I've got you covered. So buckle up, check those mirrors, and let's hit the road to becoming a more confident and happier driver. Hello, lovely listeners, and welcome to another episode of The Art of Confident Driving. I hope you're driving confidently, and if not, well, aren't you clever? Because this is exactly the place to be. Today I'm going to give you guys a free lesson on how to merge onto motorways. It seems to be a big problem with a lot of drivers, so of course I have recorded motorway driving as part of one of my subscription lessons, which gives you a whole lot more information about how to merge on motorways, how to deal with other drivers, and how to get off the motorway. So please feel free to go subscribe to that. You'll also get some instructional videos when you go to my website and subscribe there. But otherwise, of course, Apple have got it. Now, let's get stuck in and make life a lot happier when we're merging on motorways. Alrighty, so I know there are going to be a lot of learner drivers listening to this, but there will also be quite a few fully licensed drivers out there who are just not confident to get on the motorway because it's quite intimidating, especially when you're doing a high speed. So that's the first thing I'd like every driver to remember, that not everybody has the same level of driver training and doesn't have the same level of driving. In other words, we can have a really awesome driver out there and right next to them can be a pretty ordinary driver, okay? So please be a little bit more patient and a little bit more courteous to other road users and everybody's lives will be happier, okay? Next thing, merging on motorways at speed. So most motorways here in Australia are going to be at least 100 kilometres an hour. We've got one near us, which is 110. Now, the interesting thing is it was actually dropped down to 100 while we had the Commonwealth Games here at the Gold Coast, which was fabulous. I can tell you now, all of us locals, we were terrified. We were so worried about the traffic, and we shouldn't have been. It wasn't that bad at all. However, I was actually a bit more concerned about the drop in the 10k per hour limit when I jumped on the motorway, thinking it's going to take me so much extra time between lessons to get to my students. And that was the biggest surprise. It didn't. It really didn't make much of a difference at all. I don't travel 50 kilometres to get to a student. It wouldn't be worth my time. But more importantly, if I planned for it and allowed that extra 1 or 2 minutes, there was no problem at all. Most of the time, guys, I actually ended up getting to my student early, which was lovely. Because A, there wasn't the traffic that we were expecting, but B, the interesting part was on the motorway, being 100, more people used it better. In other words, the drivers were able to merge easier because they weren't competing with somebody doing 110 when they were only doing 90. And the even more interesting part, I believe it was the RACQ, they did a study whilst we had the 100k zone limit, there were 50% less crashes. 50%, guys, that is huge. So when people say up the speed limit, I'm like, well, yeah, that might be great for the 25% of really awesome drivers out there. But for the rest of the drivers, that is not a comfortable place for them to sit. And all that's going to happen is they're going to go slow, you're going to go fast, and it just won't work, right? We all need to be at reasonably the same speed when we're on the motorway. If we get a really slow lane and a really fast lane, that's when big problems can occur. So that's the first thing I want you guys to be aware of is when we are merging on the motorway, first tip, we need to match the speed. So if they're all doing 80, we're going to do 80. If they're doing 90, we do 90. If they're doing 100, we do 100. And if they're doing 110, we need to be somewhere close to 110 in order for us to merge onto the motorway happily. Okay? If you're thinking, I'm scared, I'm going to slow down to do this, that will not help the situation at all. Think about it from the driver who's already on the motorway. Think about it from their point of view. They're coming up to an entrance. They're aware that other cars will be coming in. So hopefully they're planning for that and are aware that you will be getting onto the motorway. Now, if they're doing 110, how happy do you think they're going to be if you're trying to join doing 85 or 90, you're making them do that big jump in speed down? Do you think they're going to be happy with that? No, of course not. They're not going to let you in, are they? Because you're now slowing down the driver who was happily doing the speed limit. So this is why it's so important that we get up to the speed limit, or at least somewhere close to it, so that the cars we want to merge with, we're not going to disturb them too much. And that, of course, I did mention the entire lesson, and it's a free lesson available pretty much anywhere. Any good podcasting place will have it. And that is, of course, giveaway basics. So if you're not certain how to give way, go back and listen to that episode. I do talk about lane changing on that episode, but let me briefly mention it. If you're crossing a line, guys, you've got to give way. They're not required to give way to you. You are required to give way to them. And of course, to merge on a motorway, we're crossing a line, we have to give way. So we don't want to upset the other driver. Please keep up with the speed limit. Okay, number 2, identify the safe gap. So you should be checking your side mirror. You're not staring at it. And again, I mentioned that on the other free lesson, which is your mirrors. So again, if you're not certain which mirror to look into or how often to look into it, go listen to that episode. So again, if we are merging on the motorway, we want to be checking our side mirror, but that's not the mirror we make our decision with. We're going to be checking the central mirror to make sure that we've got the correct distance. The side mirrors in most vehicles will be convex. In other words, they don't show us where the traffic is. They just show there is traffic there. The central mirror, your internal mirror, that is a true mirror. So that's going to show you where the vehicle is nearby. Okay? Now, if we are matching our speed, if we have identified our safe gap, that means we can start thinking about our blind spot. We do one good blind spot check. And of course, I give that lesson very early on. That's lesson number 6 in the subscriber area, and that's blind spot. So I do explain precisely where blind spots are and when and how to check them. So we're going to check our blind spot, make sure nobody's hiding in there. Nobody's there. Great. We're going to make our way into that lane. Now, we want to get into the lane early. Yes, I know it does continue down further, but guess what happens to the people who just keep on going and then realize they're running out of lane and therefore they've got to force their way into the motorway lane? You've seen it. You know what happens. Our beautiful merging has suddenly have to go on the brakes. All of the vehicles that were happily merging earlier because they did it at the beginning of the lane, now we're going to have to go heavy on the anchors because some person has decided, oh no, I can't be bothered. I'm just going to force my way in at the end. Guys, it's not good. It doesn't help anyone. We want to merge zipper-like, and that is, of course, my 4th big tip for merging on the motorway. Merge zipper-like. One car in the right lane, one car in the left lane, one car in the right lane, one car in the left lane. And if they can go between each other, how good is that? It works so well. So that's what I need you doing. Don't wait to the last minute. Please get in that lane as soon as you can, and that way we can all move forward, get up to speed, and we can be on the motorway and driving happy. So that is absolutely the easiest way of merging on a motorway, okay? We'll go over it one more time. Number 1, match the speed. Number 2, identify the safe gap. Number 3, check your blind spot correctly. Number 4, merge zipper-like. And number 5, merge as early as possible. Now, a couple of other little tips I'm going to give other drivers out there who are possibly the ones who are waiting for the people to come in on the motorway or in your lane. Please don't change your speed. Don't adjust your speed yet. Be prepared to adjust your speed, but think about it again from their point of view, the guys who are trying to merge into your lane. If you suddenly start going too fast or too slow, that car who's trying to check the mirrors to see how fast you're going are they going to get in front of you? Are they going to get in behind you? They're going to have a very hard time trying to figure out what is that car doing? Is he gunning it? Is he slowing down? What's he doing? So please just maintain your speed. Please don't change it. Be prepared to go on the brake if you need to, if, somebody suddenly does a pretty bad lane change in front of you. But please, just in general, maintain your speed as you're waiting for that traffic to merge with you. And for every driver out there, and this is a blanket rule, indicate early. Okay? For whatever you're doing, we would rather you indicate too early than too late. It's a blanket rule that I have, which I teach my students. It's much better to communicate with the other road users and communicate really well. So if you indicate early, they're going to say, oh, all right, they're happy to indicate, I will let them in. I can tell you now, I've had very few problems getting on and off the motorway with my students. Why? Because I make them indicate quite early. They're communicating well, they're staying calm, they're merging across at speed. So I rarely have any problems getting onto the motorway. And I'm sure a lot of you are saying, but I have lots of problems. Well, number one, did you indicate early? Number two, are you maintaining the speed? Number three, see, all of those things I've just gone through. If you can practice those, you're going to be really awesome at getting on and off the motorway as well. Now, one last little tip, since I mentioned off the motorway, let's finish it off. So when you are exiting the motorway, please do not brake in the motorway lane. Please cross the slip lane lines, so they are like fat giveaway lines. Cross those lines, then go on the brakes. Okay, please don't go on the brakes early. Again, the guys who are in the left lane, they were doing 110 and now we're going on the brakes just to cross a line. That doesn't make sense. Okay, so please get off the motorway first, then start braking. There should be plenty of time to do that. One last tip, especially for you fully licensed and experienced drivers, don't be tempted to be having an in-depth conversation while you're trying to get on the motorway. This is a complex maneuver. So all my learners know we don't talk when we're concentrating, or if we are talking, it's commentary driving. But the main part is we need to focus on the job of merging. Once you're on the motorway, then it's fairly easy. Then you can go back to chatting, can't you? So that's the biggest thing. If we are chatting with someone next to us, well, they're a captive audience, guys, aren't they? They're not going anywhere. So you can pause in the middle of your sentence if you want, get onto the motorway, do the merge correctly, and then start the conversation up again. They're not going anywhere. They haven't done anything, and it allowed you to concentrate and make the merge easy. All right, my friends, go on out there, have a good time, stay calm, look around, notice what's going on around you, and you are going to be awesome at this. All right, I'll catch you next time. And my full driving lessons are available on Apple Podcasts and the artofconfidentdriving.com website, where you will get access to instructional videos. Remember to relax and enjoy the drive. See you next time.